Julia Stovold, and I'm the Marketing Manager at Documation. I'm going to talk today about choosing an automation solution partner. You will note that I say partner rather than supplier. This is because the relationship between customer and supplier when automating P2P and AP processes should be a partnership, something we believe very strongly here at Documation. I'm going to walk through the buyer's journey and cover the key elements in each. Obviously, each organisation has its own individual requirements from both the technology and process point of view. But we will aim to cover at a high level what this looks like and how you proceed on the journey. Buying automation software can be broken down into 5 stages, as described by a recent Gartner study from research on buying habits from global software buyers. This journey moves from being unaware that you have a problem that is solvable by automation to selecting a solution to that problem. There are 5 buying stages listed as identification, research, intent, purchase, and implementation. Identification, point in time when you recognise there is a potential automation solution that could solve your pain points. Research, when you identify which software providers are the best able to provide a solution for your identified issue. Intent, the working out of who in your organisation will make the final decision on the purchase. Purchase, the decision is made and just the final contract details to be worked out. Implementation, the details of which have been set out in the purchase contract. Now is the stage of delivery. The journey is never complete, even when the purchase and onboarding have been confirmed. Consistent and positive interactions with the supplier, customer service, sales, and help desk teams are important from the project kickoff, along with measuring the deliverables and making sure the business outcomes have been met. So let's look at identification. This is the point of realisation that there is a problem or multiple problems and pain points that could be potentially solved by automation. Many teams have experienced this since lockdown. The issues of manual data entry, invoices arriving by post, and wet signatures for approvals have caused unimagined headaches for AP teams. And these may not have been top of your wish list pre-remote working, but they certainly are now. In the Gartner research study, software investment is most likely triggered by needed productivity improvements. Other triggers were competitive pressures and outgrowing of current technology. This is particularly interesting when it comes to organisations that have automation solutions that are over 8 years old. Many of these solutions are now beginning to cause more work than they are saving due to the workarounds necessary in the system to get the job done and the lack of integration with the newer features of their ERP. Companies in this situation will have been through this buying journey before, but it is well worth re-evaluating their processes and knowing what new technology is available. Evaluation and identifying the pain points in the most pressing to least pressing order, along with the organisation's landscape, who needs to be involved to get the project approved, and making sure the whole team are on board are just starting points. Then you need to begin to think about where to start with the automation and what the chosen solution will look like. There are 2 approaches to take when considering the automation processes. Perhaps the team are already pressed for time, and taking time away from their day-to-day tasks is an impossibility, but in the long term, the team would hugely benefit from the automation solution. In this scenario, a phased approach is best, one that can be scaled and grow as and when some of the initial pain points are removed. Or perhaps there is an appetite for the Big Bang approach. This requires some time spent rethinking entire processes and perhaps dedicating a full-time employee to working with the team to solely manage the project. Obviously, the approach will dictate the sort of solution that is needed and how it can be implemented. Following that, it will influence the research of available solutions that suppliers are offering. Research. Researching and evaluation are the next stage of this journey. The first step of this research is generally online. Searching for results that are linked to key pain points is a good start, and then cross-referencing them with a more general search for AP automation solutions or similar, and then comparing the results. It's best to start by creating a long list, one that ticks all the boxes that are must-haves for you and your team. Documenting your processes within your P2P team will help you identify these key targets that your solution has to hit to go on your long list. These usually include the following: finance system integration and other software integration. Is the solution compatible with your current software? Does it have the functionality and features to cover your pain points? Is it flexible enough to be customized for your unique processes? Is it scalable? Will it be able to help with future automation in simplicity of use? Does it require programming skills that are outside your team's skill set? Maintenance. Does it require regular updates? How often and how are these managed? Price. What sort of pricing models are available? And support. What kind of support and ongoing account management is on offer? Also look for the extras at this point. This research may have started with you solely wanting to automate data capture, but having looked at some of the solutions, it may become clear there is more to be offered that could help with other processes too. Think about these factors and start working through the long list and hone it down to the short list. Searching which provider should go on your shortlist can generally be done from suppliers' websites and general requests for information. Another option, if the timing is right, is to attend a summit or conference, virtually currently of course, and meet some of the long list suppliers and have an informal chat with them. Getting to know the people that would be working on your automation project is a huge help. Understanding the way they work and having a relationship with them as early as possible will help to iron out any wrinkles in communication. The next stage of this journey is intent. By now, you know what you're looking for, how much you have to spend, and a timescale you would like it implemented by. You've made a shortlist and perhaps have had brief and formal discussions with the providers on this list and are moving quickly towards a purchase. It's likely you will have to present your choices to a management team or group of stakeholders, and it's best to have as much information as you can to hand. Work with your selected providers and try and get them involved in presenting the solutions in a presentation or workshop. Have enough information yourself before this point to be able to answer their initial questions and organise your list from most wanted to least, along with your reasons why. Each stakeholder will be approaching this from their own perspective, be it budget, IT integration, finance team, and perhaps even HR. Make sure you're ready for their questions and understand the importance of their input. For any automation project to be successful, you need buy-in from all the stakeholders and your team. Any groundwork you do now will make the decision and the following changes in process a much smoother ride. Try and get reference sites from the suppliers and talk to these organisations that have implemented an automation solution with similar processes to your own. This is often the point where the best fit supplier rises to the top. Being able to have an independent conversation with an organisation in a similar industry or with a similar landscape can give you a real feel for how the supplier works and what the ongoing support and account management is really like. Once honed down to the shortlist, it's time to make contact with the suppliers that might have the right automation solution for you. This can be done in a formal way with an RFP, request for proposal. These work well because it gives all the suppliers a chance to present their solutions, features and benefits in a relevant way and is an easy tool for comparing like for like. Many suppliers offer demonstrations of their solutions, and this can also help when looking at the shortlist. Seeing the software platform and interface gives a view of how complex or easy it is to use. But beware. These demos are designed to showcase the best of the software and often gloss over the bits that may be key to your requirements. They also tend to include information and processes that are not necessarily relevant to you. It's often better to make contact and talk to the supplier and arrange a workshop to show the elements of the solution that are of interest to you and how it would work with your processes, rather than be presented with a standard demo. Signing up to forums and associations, such as the APA, and talking to other members is a great way to see and hear how other people found their suppliers, get a list of pros and cons based on experiences. And lastly, and probably the best of all, is a recommendation from a respected colleague or contact. Nothing beats a personal recommendation, so ask around. The last part of this shortlisting process is, of course, price. When laying out the organisation's landscape, there will have been elements of budget holders, influencers, and advocates within this structure. Different solution providers offer different kinds of pricing structures. These can be a cost per document, can be a CapEx purchase as an on-premise solution, or an OpEx purchase as a managed service. Understanding these different options and knowing what each provider offers will help when presenting the information for the required solution. So now you have decided on your supplier, or partner as we like to think of them, and you're fine-tuning what you need from the solution ready for your purchase. It's the finer details you want to nail down, and this is where the hard work really starts. If you have worked through the previous stages thoroughly, then there should be no reason for the purchase not to go ahead. However, there are several reasons why your stakeholders might get this far down the line and decide against an investment. 3 biggest influences that can cause the purchase to stop in its tracks are pricing. Remember, it might be that there is flexibility around the pricing structure, as discussed earlier. It may be that the budget is not available for a CapEx purchase, and in this case, make sure that you and the stakeholders know if there are any OpEx options. A cloud managed service is flexible on price, does not come off the balance sheet in the same way, and since remote working has become such a huge part of our working environment, is a serious option that should not be dismissed. Negative user reviews. These are usually picked up at the intent stage, but a negative review this late in the stage can draw the purchase to a standstill. Make sure you are confident that you have enough evidence to show that the supplier is reputable and does what they say they're going to do. Low quality sales pitches. Often exposed at the final stage where there is a presentation, workshop or demo by the supplier. If the detail or experience doesn't shine through here, confidence is lost and so is the likelihood of the project going ahead. Other reasons shown in the Gartner survey include aggressive sales tactics, lack of clear differentiation, lack of reference, negative opinions from an influencer, and confusing or contradictory information material. Hopefully, these will not affect your purchase, and with the hard work you've put in up until this point in the journey, these blockers should be unlikely to occur. So, to recap, you know what you're looking for as far as features and benefits. technology and integration, complexity and ease of use, and budget. What else should you consider when choosing a supplier? The topmost factors, according to the Gartner report in 2020, when buying software were as follows. Trustworthiness. Trustworthiness of the organisation and the sales team during the evaluation process. Responsiveness. Responsiveness of the vendor, the sales team, the tech team, and in fact anyone that you have to contact during this process. Product knowledge of the sales team and the technical team and the support team, and understanding that they really get your processes and they know how relevant their solution is to what you need it to do. Completeness of a software implementation plan. This should list out stage by stage, right through from the very first point to the full implementation. Make sure you understand it and it's a process that will work for you. Flexibility. Flexibility to adapt the way they sell to the way you want to buy, most importantly. Alongside this, they report on the importance of maintaining an ongoing relationship. Most importantly for the respondents was following up to ensure business outcomes have been met. Next was assigning dedicated resources to assist with onboarding. Following that, measuring the pre-agreed business outcomes and reporting on this too. Also listed was roadmap input, online and in-person interaction, and holding regular business review meetings. Hopefully, by now, you've got a clear picture of where to start and what to look for. We find that as long as the solution you have chosen covers everything you need it to do, fits with your organisation landscape, then it comes down to three things: experience, personalities, and trust. So take some time to get them to know the company and the team you'll be working with. Make sure you and your team feel not only comfortable, but in a position of advocacy for the change. There will always be hurdles to overcome, but having your team all working towards the change together will make the transition much easier. We're sad not to be able to meet you in person because of the current restrictions, but we'd love to chat with you face-to-face virtually and find out if we could work together. If you'd like more information and documentation as a solution partner, please check out the links to the blogs on our host page and get in touch.